The notification lights up my phone at 9:47 p.m., and for a moment, I consider not reading it. Something about the timing feels ominous. Too late for casual conversation, too early for an emergency. But I swipe anyway, and my father's words fill the screen like ice water down my spine. Before we continue, shout out your location in the comments. If this story moved you, hit subscribe. Our community is growing, and tomorrow's story is one you won't want to miss. Thanksgiving will be intimate this year. Just immediate family. Hope you understand. Dad. I read it 3 times, each pass hoping the meaning will shift, that I've misunderstood somehow. But there's no ambiguity in those carefully chosen words. Immediate family. The phrase that somehow excludes his own daughter and grandson while including my brother Trevor and his picture-perfect wife and their 2 golden children. My 7-year-old son Liam is asleep in the next room, his small chest rising and falling beneath his dinosaur comforter. Tomorrow morning, he'll wake up asking if we can bake Grandpa's favorite pumpkin pie this weekend, the one we've brought to Thanksgiving for the past 4 years. The one my father always claims is the best he's ever tasted, while ruffling Liam's hair. I set the phone down on my kitchen island, the Carrara marble cool beneath my trembling fingers. Through the floor-to-ceiling windows of my Denver penthouse, the city sprawls below, lights twinkling like fallen stars. 1,600 square feet of carefully curated success. The Italian leather sofa, the abstract paintings I commissioned from a local artist, the open kitchen where I've hosted exactly 3 dinner parties because I'm always too busy, always climbing. Everything here whispers achievement. Nothing betrays the hollowness spreading through my chest. My reflection in the darkened window shows a woman who should have expected this. 34 years old, dressed in the cashmere loungewear I bought because I finally could, hair pulled back in a messy bun because there's no one here to impress. The successful daughter, the one who doesn't need anything from anyone. Except I did need something. I needed to matter. The memories flood back unbidden, as if my father's text message unlocked a vault I've spent years trying to seal. I'm 9 years old again, standing in our cramped living room in Colorado Springs, holding up my acceptance letter to the Gifted and Talented program. My father barely glanced up from his newspaper. He said, "Trevor made varsity basketball, youngest player in school history." I was 12 when I won the regional science fair, my project on renewable energy earning first place and a scholarship to summer camp at Stanford. My father attended Trevor's Little League game that same afternoon. When I showed him the trophy later, he patted my shoulder absently. "That's nice, sweetheart. Real nice. Hey, did you see your brother's home run today?" I was 17 when I got my acceptance to Princeton with a full academic scholarship. My father took Trevor out for a celebratory steak dinner when he got accepted to state school with a partial athletic scholarship. "Trevor's going to make us proud," he'd announced to relatives at our 4th of July barbecue. When someone asked about my Princeton acceptance, he'd waved it away. "Oh, Natalie's always been good at school. Trevor's the real athlete in the family." The pattern was so consistent, it became background noise. I learned to expect less, to celebrate my victories privately, to stop hoping my father would see me the way he saw Trevor, with pride shining undimmed in his eyes. I worked 3 jobs through Princeton. Mornings at the campus bookstore, afternoons as a research assistant, and evenings tutoring wealthy students whose parents could afford my rates. My father never offered to help with expenses. He said, "You've got that scholarship. Trevor needs our help with his living costs. College athletes don't have time for jobs." 6 months after I graduated with honors, my father co-signed a loan for Trevor's business venture, a sports bar that failed within 18 months. When I asked if he'd co-sign for my graduate school loans, he hesitated. The bar was an investment in Trevor's future. More school for you? Seems excessive. I paid for my MBA myself. Every cent. Now I stand in a penthouse I bought with my own money, looking at a message that shouldn't hurt but does. My architectural firm, Ashford and Associates, employs 47 people across 2 states. Last year, we won the contract to design the new Performing Arts Center downtown, a $12 million project that put my name in the newspapers. My father's response when I called to share the news? "That's wonderful, honey. Trevor's bar finally broke even this quarter." My phone buzzes again. This time it's my cousin Jasmine. "Did you get the text too?" Her voice is tight with anger when I answer. "Just now." "Natalie, he's cutting out half the family. Uncle Raymond and Aunt Sylvia got the same message. So did Grandma Florence. Apparently Trevor's in-laws need space at the table, and your dad decided the rest of us are expendable." I sink onto my sofa, processing this new information. "Grandma Florence?" "His own mother," Jasmine confirms, her voice breaking. "He's choosing Trevor's wife's family over his own mother, over you and Liam." The mention of my son ignites something in my chest, something hotter than hurt. I've made peace with being my father's second choice. I've built a life where his approval doesn't matter. But Liam, my beautiful, sensitive 7-year-old who still believes his grandfather hung the moon?
Liam asked me yesterday if we could make Grandpa's favorite pie, I say quietly. He's been drawing pictures all week of our family around the Thanksgiving table. He included Trevor's kids, even though they barely acknowledge him at family gatherings. Jasmine is silent for a moment. When she speaks again, her voice carries a new determination. We should do something, all of us who got cut. Like what? I don't know yet, but we deserve better than this. You especially. After we hang up, I walk to Liam's room and crack open the door. He's sprawled across his bed, one arm flung over his stuffed triceratops, the nightlight casting gentle shadows across his peaceful face. On his desk, I can see the construction paper turkey he made at school, each feather labeled with something he's thankful for. One feather reads, "Grandpa," and his careful, looping handwriting. Tomorrow, I'll have to find a way to explain why Grandpa suddenly doesn't want us at Thanksgiving. I'll have to watch my son's face crumple with confusion and hurt. I'll have to tell him it's not his fault, even though he'll wonder what he did wrong. And in that moment, standing in my son's doorway, watching him sleep with innocent trust that the people who love him will always choose him, something crystallizes inside me. My father chose to exclude us. Now I get to choose what happens next. This story took hours to research and craft, so if you're enjoying it, a quick subscribe would truly make our day. Now let's get back to it. Morning light filters through Liam's curtains, painting stripes across his bedroom floor. I've been awake since 5 a.m., my mind churning through scenarios, conversations, explanations. How do you tell a 7-year-old that his grandfather has decided he's not worth the seat at the table? I'm still wrestling with this when my phone rings. Grandma Florence's name appears on the screen. Natalie. Her voice carries the sharp edge of someone who's reached the end of their patience. "I assume you got Richard's text message last night." "I did, Grandma." 63 years I've been part of this family's Thanksgiving. I hosted for 40 of those before my arthritis got too bad. And my own son. Her voice cracks, then steadies with steel. My own son tells me I'm not immediate family enough for Trevor's in-laws. I close my eyes, pressing my fingers against the bridge of my nose. "I'm so sorry." "Don't you dare apologize for him." Grandma Florence's tone sharpens. "I've watched him do this to you your entire life, and I didn't speak up enough. That ends now. Jasmine called me this morning with an idea, and I want you to hear it." Before I can hang up, my phone buzzes with an incoming call. "Jasmine!" "Grandma, can I call you back? Jasmine is trying to reach me." "Put us on a group call. This involves her too." I fumble with the phone, eventually managing to merge the calls. "Okay, you're both here." "Perfect," Jasmine says, her voice animated in a way I haven't heard since we were teenagers plotting harmless rebellion. "Natalie, how many people can your place in Aspen hold?" "My Aspen property? I had almost forgotten about it. A 5-bedroom mountain retreat I purchased 8 months ago as an investment property. The real estate agent called it a modern mountain masterpiece, and I'd toured it once before signing the papers, then promptly buried myself in work and never returned. The listing said it could sleep 16 comfortably. I say slowly. Why? Because I've been texting with everyone who got excluded, Jasmine explains. Uncle Raymond and Aunt Sylvia, Grandma Florence, Aunt Patricia and Uncle James, the cousins. We're talking 14 people, not counting kids. What if we had our own Thanksgiving? The idea hangs in the air between us, audacious and slightly terrifying. At my Aspen house, I repeat, testing the words. Unless you have a better location for hosting the family members your father decided weren't good enough for his table. Or are you going to let him make you feel small again? The question hits like a slap. Not cruel, but clarifying. How many times have I let my father's dismissal shrink me? How many achievements have I downplayed? How many celebrations have I muted because I learned early that my victories made him uncomfortable? I walk to my window, looking out over Denver as the city awakens. In the reflection, I see what I've become. A woman who built an empire, but still seeks approval from a man who will never give it to her. A mother who's about to let her son learn the same painful lesson she did, that love from some people comes with conditions you can never quite meet. I'm in, I hear myself say, but I don't want to just throw together some makeshift dinner. If we're doing this, we do it right. How right are we talking? Jasmine asks, and I can hear the smile in her voice. I pull up my contacts, scrolling until I find the name I need. Give me an hour. I need to make some calls. After we hang up, I stand in my living room, really seeing the space for the first time in months. I've been so focused on building, achieving, proving. But proving what? And to whom? My father will never see me the way I need him to. But maybe that's not the point anymore. Maybe the point is what I see when I look at Liam.
My son wanders into the kitchen around 8, his hair sticking up in 3 different directions, dragging his triceratops behind him. "Is today Saturday?" he asks, climbing onto a bar stool. "It is, buddy." I set a plate of pancakes in front of him, the ones shaped like dinosaurs that he loves. "Can we make Grandpa's pie today?" The question I've been dreading. I sit down next to him, choosing my words carefully. "Actually, I need to talk to you about Thanksgiving." His fork pauses halfway to his mouth. "Did something happen to Grandpa?" "No, nothing like that. But there's been a change of plans." I take a breath. "Grandpa is having a smaller Thanksgiving this year, so we're going to do something different. Something special." "We're not going to Grandpa's house?" His bottom lip trembles slightly. "No, sweetheart, but here's the exciting part. We're going to have Thanksgiving at our house in the mountains. Remember the big house we saw pictures of, with all the windows and the view of the mountains?" Liam processes this, his 7-year-old mind working through the logistics. "Will Grandpa come there?" The question pierces clean through. "No, baby. Grandpa is having dinner with Trevor and his family." "Why can't we go there too?" How do you explain rejection to a child? How do you tell him that sometimes people make choices that hurt, and those choices say everything about them and nothing about your worth? "Sometimes grown-ups make decisions that are hard to understand," I say finally. "But Grandma Florence will be at our house, and Aunt Jasmine, and Uncle Raymond, and lots of cousins you haven't seen in a while." "But not Grandpa?" "Not this year." Liam stares at his pancakes, no longer eating. "Did I do something wrong?" The question breaks something open in my chest. I pull him into my arms, feeling his small body against mine, and I make a decision that goes deeper than Thanksgiving dinner. "No," I say firmly, "you did absolutely nothing wrong. Sometimes grown-ups make decisions that are hard to understand, and those choices say everything about them and nothing about your worth. And you know what? We're going to make such an amazing Thanksgiving that they'll wish they'd been there." When I look up, I catch our reflection in the window, mother and son, a team of 2 against the world. And I realize that's all we've ever really been. My father's exclusion didn't take anything away. It just made visible what was always true.
I reach for my phone and dial the first number. A woman answers on the second ring, her voice professionally warm. Thornton Catering, this is Amanda speaking. Hi, Amanda. My name is Natalie Ashford. I need to discuss hosting a Thanksgiving dinner for approximately 20 people in Aspen, full service, and I need it to be exceptional. Can you handle that on short notice? There's a brief pause. Miss Ashford from Ashford and Associates? We worked with your firm on the museum project last year. That's right. For you? Absolutely. Let me get my calendar. The next call is to my assistant, Veronica, who's worked with me for 6 years and knows exactly how I operate when I've made my mind. I need you to coordinate something for me, I tell her. Transportation for elderly family members from Colorado Springs to Aspen for Thanksgiving weekend. Also, reach out to the property management company for my Aspen house. I need it opened up, fully stocked, and ready for guests by Wednesday. Consider it done, Veronica says without hesitation. Anything else? Yes, can you research the best bakery in Aspen? I need a custom order by Wednesday. And I'll need recommendations for activities, something for kids, something for seniors. You're hosting Thanksgiving, she says, and it's not a question. I'm hosting the Thanksgiving I should have had years ago. After I hang up, I open my laptop and begin a different kind of project than the architectural plans I usually draft. This time, I'm designing an experience. I research menus, pulling up Chef Martin Thornton's portfolio, the same chef who handled the museum gala where my firm's design was unveiled. His Thanksgiving menu is ambitious. Herb-crusted turkey with brown butter sage sauce, truffle mashed potatoes, roasted Brussels sprouts with pancetta, butternut squash risotto, and his signature bourbon pecan pie. I email him directly, bypassing the formal inquiry process. Chef Thornton, Natalie Ashford here. Remember the museum project? I have another project for you. This one more personal, but just as important. Are you available to discuss? His response comes within 15 minutes. Ms. Ashford, I've been following your firm's work since the museum. Your Performing Arts Center design is brilliant. I'd be honored to discuss your project. Call me anytime. When we connect an hour later, I explain what I'm planning. Not just a dinner, but a statement. A gathering that celebrates the people who were cast aside, hosted by the daughter who was never quite enough. I want every person at that table to feel valued, like they matter, like someone saw them and chose them deliberately. There's a thoughtful pause. That's not just about food, Ms. Ashford. That's about love. Exactly. Then let's create something unforgettable. By noon, the framework is in place. Amanda from Thornton Catering has drafted a preliminary menu and timeline. Veronica has arranged transportation, a charter bus for those who can't drive, rental cars for others. The property management company confirms the house will be ready, fully stocked with linens, firewood, and essentials.
Jasmine calls back, breathless with excitement. Everyone's in! Grandma Florence cried when I told her. Uncle Raymond said it's about time someone stood up to your father. Even Aunt Patricia, who never causes waves, said she's deeply disappointed in Richard's behavior. How many total? 22 people if everyone comes. 13 adults, 9 kids ranging from age 4 to 15. 22 people who were deemed expendable. 22 people I'm choosing to see. That afternoon, I take Liam to the outdoor mall. We browse the shops, and I let him pick out a new outfit for Thanksgiving. Dark jeans and a button-down shirt with dinosaurs on it that makes him grin. While he's distracted by a koi store window, I slip into a boutique and select gifts for each guest. Nothing extravagant, just thoughtful. A cashmere scarf for Grandma Florence and her favorite sage green, a leather-bound journal for Uncle Raymond, who loves to write, art supplies for the creative cousins. In a home goods store, I find personalized wooden place cards and ordered 22 of them, each one hand-carved with the guest's name. The clerk looks curiously when I insist on rush delivery to Aspen by Wednesday. Special occasion?
she asks. Very special, I confirm. A celebration of family. That evening, after Liam is asleep, I drive to my storage unit on the outskirts of Denver. I haven't been here in 3 years. Not since I moved into the penthouse and needed to clear out boxes from my smaller apartment. Inside are the archived pieces of my history. College notebooks, old portfolios, photos. I find what I'm looking for in a box labeled Family Photos 1995 to 2010. Inside are the visual records of my childhood, each one telling the same story from a different angle. There's my 8th grade graduation, my father's arm around Trevor, me standing slightly apart, my hand raised in an awkward wave. My high school awards ceremony, where I received the Academic Achievement Medal, my father's seat empty because Trevor had a basketball game. My Princeton acceptance day, Trevor centered in the family photo holding his state school acceptance letter while I'm barely visible at the edge of the frame. I pull out one photo in particular. Thanksgiving 2005. I'm 14, thin and serious in a too big sweater. I'm setting the table while everyone else gathers in the living room watching football. Even in the photo, I'm in service, not celebration. Always useful, never essential. I pack the photos back carefully. I don't need them anymore. Not as evidence, not as proof. I know my truth. But I take one photo with me. Last year's Thanksgiving, where Liam sits on my father's lap, both of them laughing at something on TV. I want to remember that my father is capable of love, even if he rations it unfairly. Back at home, I stand at my window overlooking the city, holding my phone. The text I draft takes several attempts to get right. Dad, I received your message about Thanksgiving. I want you to know that Liam and I will be hosting our own gathering in Aspen for the family members who were excluded. Everyone is welcome to come, including you and Trevor. I hope someday you'll understand what you're choosing. Natalia. I stare at it for 5 full minutes before hitting send. His response comes an hour later. Don't be dramatic, Natalia. We're trying to keep things simple. I don't reply. There's nothing left to say. Instead, I open a new note on my phone and begin listing names. Every person who's coming, every detail I want to get right. Grandma Florence's favorite jazz music playing softly during dinner. The kids' table set up with activity books and art supplies. A fire in the fireplace. Hot chocolate bar for the children, wine selection for the adults. This isn't revenge, it's reclamation. By the time I fall asleep that night, I've created something my father never gave me, a place where I'm not an afterthought, but the architect of belonging. The next morning, Liam finds me at my laptop, finalizing details. Mom, he says quietly, are we really going to the mountain house? We really are, buddy. Will it be fun even without Grandpa? I pull him onto my lap, looking into his eyes, my eyes, the same sheet of green, the same searching look when he's trying to understand the world. I tell him, it's going to be more than fun. It's going to be exactly what Thanksgiving should be. You'll see. And watching his expression shift from uncertainty to cautious excitement, I realize something profound. I'm not just planning a dinner. I'm showing my son what it looks like to refuse to make yourself smaller for people who won't make room for you. I'm teaching him that being excluded from the wrong table means you get to build the right one. The drive to Aspen on Wednesday morning feels like crossing into a different world. Liam presses his face against the window as we climb into the mountains, his breath fogging the glass as he points out every peak, every pine tree heavy with early snow. The highway curves through valleys where autumn still clings to the aspens, their golden leaves brilliant against the crystalline blue sky. Mom, look! That mountain looks like a sleeping giant. I glance over, smiling at his wonder. This is what I wanted, to replace his confusion with excitement, to show him that endings can become beginnings if you're brave enough to write a new story. My phone buzzes in the cup holder. Jasmine. Just left Colorado Springs with Grandma Florence and Aunt Patricia. ETA 2:45 p.m. Grandma keeps crying happy tears, says this is the best thing that's happened in years. I text back one-handed. Drive safe. House is ready.
Veronica has been worth every penny of her salary. When we pull up the winding driveway, the house emerges from the pine trees like something from a dream. Floor-to-ceiling windows reflect the mountains, the modern timber frame architecture blending seamlessly with the landscape. Smoke already curls from the stone chimney. The property manager must have started a fire. "Whoa," Liam breathes. "We own this?" "We do." "It's like a castle, but better because it has mountains." Alan, the property manager, a weathered man in his 60s with kind eyes, meets us at the entrance. "Ms. Ashford, everything's ready as requested. Firewood stocked, kitchen fully supplied, all bedrooms prepared with fresh linens. Chef Thornton's team will arrive tomorrow morning at 6 a.m. to begin prep work." "Thank you, Alan. I can't tell you how much I appreciate you pulling this together." "My pleasure. My wife and I have been managing this property since you bought it. Nice to see it finally being used for something meaningful." He hands me a key ring. "Main house, guest house, wine cellar. Weather report looks good through the weekend. Clear skies, temperatures in the low 40s during the day. Perfect Colorado fall weather." After he leaves, Liam and I explore. The great room features a vaulted ceiling with exposed beams, a river rock fireplace that climbs 2 stories, and windows framing a view of the maroon bells that steals my breath. The kitchen is a chef's dream. Commercial-grade appliances, marble countertops, a 12-person dining table that extends to seat 20. I've assigned bedrooms carefully. Grandma Florence gets the main floor suite with its accessible bathroom and private patio. The cousins with young children get the bedrooms closest to the playroom I've stocked with toys and books. Everyone else fills in around them, each room prepared with small touches, fresh flowers, local chocolates on the pillows, and handwritten welcome notes. Liam discovers the game room and shouts with pure joy. "Mom, there's an actual arcade machine and a pool table, and oh my gosh, is that a hot tub on the deck?" "It is, but you can only use it with adult supervision." "Can we use it tonight?" "Let's see how tired everyone is after traveling." By 3 p.m., cars begin arriving. Jasmine pulls up first, and Grandma Florence emerges from the passenger seat, moving slowly but with determination. She's 81 now, her silver hair perfectly set, wearing the pearl earrings she's had since my grandfather was alive. "Natalie," she takes my face in her soft hands, the same gesture she's used since I was small. "Look at what you've created." "I wanted everyone to feel welcome, Grandma." "We are welcome. That's the difference." Her eyes glisten. "Your father called me this morning. Tried to convince me not to come. Said I was encouraging your theatrical behavior." "What did he say?" "I told him that excluding his own mother and daughter from Thanksgiving was the only theatrical behavior I'd witnessed, and I'd rather spend the holiday with people who actually wanted me there." She smiles, fierce and proud. "I've bitten my tongue for too many years watching him treat you like an afterthought. No more." Uncle Raymond arrives next with Aunt Sylvia and their 3 teenagers. Raymond, my father's younger brother, has always been the quieter one, content to let my father dominate family gatherings. But when he hugs me, he whispers, "Thank you for doing this. Someone needed to show Richard that his way isn't the only way." Aunt Patricia and Uncle James bring their twin 4-year-olds, who immediately spot Liam and drag him off to explore. More cousins arrive in clusters, each carload bringing exclamations about the house, the view, the thoughtfulness of the welcome baskets I've left in each room. By 5 p.m., all 22 guests have arrived. The house fills with voices, laughter echoing off the high ceilings, children racing through hallways. I watch from the kitchen as Grandma Florence settles into an armchair by the fire, a cup of tea in her hands, surrounded by family members who've pulled chairs close to hear her stories. This is what my father's house never felt like.
Alive, messy, real. Jasmine finds me putting out appetizers, a charcuterie board that could feed an army, warm brie with cranberry compote, homemade crackers from a local bakery. "You okay?" she asks, studying my face. "I'm good, just taking it in." "Your dad called me too, and Uncle Raymond, and probably half of the people here." "What's he saying?" "That you're being vindictive, that this gathering is meant to embarrass him, that we're all betraying him by coming." I set down the cheese knife carefully. "And what did you tell him?" "I told him the truth, that you opened your home to family members he decided weren't worth his time. That's not vindictive, that's generous." She grabs a cracker, loading it with cheese. "He doesn't like that the narrative doesn't center on him for once." Dinner that evening is casual. Order in pizza from the best place in Aspen, salads, breadsticks. We crowd around the extended dining table, plates overlapping, conversations weaving through each other. Liam sits between his second cousins, laughing at their jokes, finally relaxed. After dinner, Uncle James suggests a bonfire. "That fire pit on the lower deck is incredible. Who's in?" Adults bundle into coats, while older kids dart around collecting marshmallows and chocolate bars from the kitchen. I start a fire in the stone pit, and soon flames crack against the night sky. The temperature has dropped into the 30s, and stars emerge in clusters so thick they look painted.
Someone starts humming a song from our childhood, an old folk tune Grandma Florence used to sing. Others join in, voices blending in imperfect harmony. I sit on the edge of the circle, watching faces illuminated by firelight, and feel something loosen in my chest. This is what belonging feels like. Around 9 p.m., snow begins to fall. Not a storm, just gentle flakes drifting down like a benediction. The children tilt their faces up, catching snowflakes on their tongues, and even the adults pause to marvel. "Perfect timing," Aunt Patricia says softly, like the universe approves. But at 9:47 p.m., the wind picks up. What started as gentle snowfall intensifies into something more serious. Alan calls my cell. "Ms. Ashford, Weather Service just upgraded the forecast. Storm system moving in faster than expected. We could see significant accumulation by morning. They're saying possibly 8 to 12 inches overnight." I glance around at the faces in my house, calculating. Roads? The main highway should stay clear with plows running, but the back roads might be dicey by sunrise. If anyone needs to leave, I'd recommend going now. I gather everyone in the great room, explaining the situation. Nobody has to stay. If you're worried about the drive or need to get back, I completely understand. There's a moment of silence. Then Uncle Raymond speaks up. "I'm not going anywhere. We drove all this way to be together. A little snow isn't going to scare me off." "Same here," Jasmine adds. "Besides, being snowed in together sounds kind of perfect." One by one, every family member chooses to stay. Grandma Florence looks at me with knowing eyes. "Your father's house has a big generator, the perfect setup." But perfect doesn't mean anything without the right people in it. By 11 p.m., the snow falls in thick sheets, wind rattling the windows. I check the generator. Alan assured me it's top of the line and fully fueled. I double-check that every bedroom has extra blankets. The house settles into quiet as families tuck children into beds, as adults linger over wine by the fire. I find Liam in his room, already in pajamas, staring out at the snow. "It's really coming down." "It is. You okay with being stuck here for a few days?" He turns to me and his smile is genuine. "Mom, this is the best Thanksgiving ever, and it hasn't even started yet." I kiss his forehead, breathing in his little boy smell of soap and something indefinably sweet. "Get some sleep, buddy. Tomorrow's gonna be special." Alone in my own room later, I check my phone. 3 missed calls from my father. 1 text. "This storm is serious. Are you all safe up there?" The question is genuine enough that I respond. "We're fine. House is secure, generator ready, everyone's staying." His reply comes quickly. "All of them? 20 people in a storm?" 22, and yes. A long pause, then, "Trevor's in-laws left 2 hours ago. Roads were already bad.
We're down to just our family now. I picture my father's house, the formal dining room he insisted on using despite it being uncomfortable, the table set for 7 that's now set for 5, the perfectly organized Thanksgiving that's shrinking as mine expands. I don't respond. There's nothing to say that won't sound like gloating, and that's not what this is about. But I did take a photo. The view from my bedroom window showing snow falling past the glass, the mountains barely visible in the darkness, the warm light from downstairs windows spilling onto the deck, where earlier we all gathered. I post it to my private Instagram with a simple caption, "Grateful for snow days with the people who matter." I don't tag anyone. I don't need to. The people who matter are already here. At 1 a.m., I'm jolted awake by shouting. Not angry shouting, excited shouting. I throw on a robe and rush downstairs to find the power has gone out. But instead of panic, I find magic. Someone has distributed the emergency candles I stocked in every room. The great room glows with dozens of flickering flames. Teenagers have started a game of flashlight tag. Adults sit in clusters, faces illuminated by phone lights and candlelight, talking in a way people only talk when darkness strips away pretense. Grandma Florence sits in her favorite chair, and someone has wrapped her in the cashmere throw I bought specifically for her. "Reminds me of when I was young," she says when she spots me, "before electricity made everything so bright and busy." Sometimes darkness shows you what matters. The generator kicks in 15 minutes later, humming to life and restoring power, but nobody moves. The candles stay lit, the conversations continue. Children eventually fall asleep on couches, draped over parents' laps, and adults cover them with blankets and keep talking. I settle onto the floor near the fireplace, leaning against the stone hearth, and Jasmine sits beside me. "Your dad keeps texting me," she says quietly, "wants to know what we're doing, how we're managing. I think he expected this to be a disaster." "What did you tell him?" "The truth, that we're having the time of our lives." My phone lights up with a notification. Someone has tagged me in a photo. It's Uncle Raymond's wife, Aunt Sylvia, posting to Facebook. The image shows the candlelit great room, faces glowing with warmth and laughter. The caption reads, "When the power goes out, but the love stays on." Most memorable pre-Thanksgiving ever, thanks to our incredible host, Natalie Ashford.
Within minutes, comments pour in. Neighbors, friends, people from my father's church. "This looks amazing. You're all so blessed. Where are Richard and Linda?" That last question appears multiple times, asked by different people. My father's absence has been noted. I don't respond to the post. I don't need to defend or explain. The photo speaks for itself, a house full of joy, a family choosing each other, a celebration that needed no permission. When I finally climb back into bed around 3 a.m., the snow has stopped. The world outside my window is pristine white, transformed, new. Tomorrow, today technically, is Thanksgiving. Chef Thornton will arrive in a few hours with his team. There will be cooking, celebrating the meal I've planned so carefully. But lying there in the dark, listening to my house full of sleeping family members, I realize something profound. The vindication isn't coming tomorrow. It already happened. My father excluded us from his table, thinking he was taking something away. Instead, he gave me exactly what I needed, the final push to create something better than anything he ever offered. Let him have his perfect small Thanksgiving with Trevor's in-laws. I have this. A house full of people who chose to be here, who drove through an impending storm, who stayed when they could have left, who celebrated in candlelight when the power failed. I have everything that actually matters. And tomorrow, I'll make sure every single person here knows exactly how valued they are. Thanksgiving morning arrives with brilliant sunshine reflecting off snow so white it hurts to look at directly. I wake at 5:30 a.m. to find Chef Thornton's van already in the driveway, his team unloading equipment through the service entrance Alan showed them. By 6 a.m., the kitchen transforms into a professional operation.
Chef Thornton, a tall man with silver temples and hands that move with practiced efficiency, orchestrates 3 sous chefs like a conductor leading an orchestra. The scent of herbs and roasting turkey begins filling the house before most guests have stirred. "Coffee's ready in the carafe," Chef Thornton says when he spots me hovering in the doorway. "Strong, the way you mentioned you like it." I pour a cup and watch them work. 2 turkeys going into the oven, 1 traditional herb-crusted, 1 with a maple bourbon glaze. Potatoes being peeled for 3 different preparations. Brussels sprouts trimmed, cranberries simmering with orange zest and cinnamon on the stove. "This is incredible," I murmur. "This is what you hired me for. But, Miss Ashford, may I say something off the record?" "Of course." I've catered for tech executives, celebrities, people with more money than sense. Most of them are throwing parties to impress other people. He gestures towards the living room where I can hear the first stirrings of guests waking. "This is different. You're creating something for them, not because of them. It's rare." Before I can respond, Liam appears in his dinosaur pajamas, hair sticking up at impossible angles. "Mom, it smells like Thanksgiving times 100. Chef Thornton laughs. "That's exactly what we're going for, young man. Are you the official taste tester?" Liam's eyes widen. "Can I be?" "Only if your mother approves." He glances at me with a conspiratorial smile. "1 taste, before breakfast." Chef Thornton prepares a small plate. A slice of herb-roasted turkey, a dollop of cranberry sauce, a single Brussels sprout roasted with maple glaze. Liam approaches it with serious concentration, tasting each element carefully like he's seen food critics do on television. "The verdict?" Chef Thornton asks. "It's perfect," Liam announces solemnly. "Grandpa would love this." The comment pierces through the warm kitchen atmosphere. Chef Thornton glances at me with raised eyebrows, and I shake my head slightly. Not now. By 9 a.m., the house pulses with activity. Someone has put on jazz music, Grandma Florence's favorite, and it drifts through rooms where families are getting dressed, children are playing, adults are helping to set the table. Jasmine appears with armfuls of autumn decorations she apparently brought from home. "I couldn't help myself," she says, arranging miniature pumpkins along the mantel. "If we're doing this, we're doing it beautifully." Uncle Raymond and Uncle James take the kids outside to play in the snow. Through the windows, I watch them building a snowman, having snowball fights, their laughter carrying clearly through the cold air. Liam is in the thick of it, his cheeks flush pink, his smile wider than I've seen in months. Around 11 a.m., my phone starts buzzing with social media notifications. I've been tagged in multiple posts. Aunt Sylvia's photo from last night has been shared 47 times. Uncle Raymond posted a video of the kids playing in the snow with the caption, "When family actually acts like family. Thanksgiving 2024 at the Ashford Estate in Aspen." The comments multiply rapidly. "This looks amazing! Where's Richard?" "I didn't know Natalie had a place in Aspen." "Wait, isn't this the same weekend as Richard's Thanksgiving? Why are they separate?" "So confused. Why would Richard not be at his own daughter's house?" Then Jasmine's teenage daughter Harper posts a TikTok. She's filmed a time-lapse of Chef Thornton's team preparing the feast, set to trending audio about choosing your family. The video shows the gorgeous mountain backdrop, the stunning house, the obvious care being put into every detail. In the final frame, she pans across the dining table with its 22 personalized place cards.
The caption reads, "When your cousin throws a better Thanksgiving than your uncle who uninvited half the family. No shade, all truth. Hashtag family first, hashtag Thanksgiving 2024. The video goes viral within hours, not just within our family circle, beyond it. Strangers start commenting, sharing their own stories of family exclusion and finding chosen family. Someone creates a side-by-side comparison. A screenshot of what appears to be my father's Facebook post from yesterday, showing his formally set table for 7, placed next to Harper's video of our table set for 22. The contrast is devastating. My phone rings. It's my father. I step onto the back deck, closing the door against the noise inside. "Hi, Dad." "What the hell is going on? Half the congregation has seen these posts. People are asking me why I'm not at my own daughter's Thanksgiving, why my mother is there and I'm not." "I invited you," I say calmly. "You chose not to come."
You know damn well that's not. You're making me look bad deliberately. I'm hosting Thanksgiving for the family members you excluded. How does that make you look bad unless you know what you did was wrong? Silence stretches between us. In the background, I can hear my mother's voice asking who's on the phone, Trevor saying something I can't make out. We wanted a quiet family holiday, my father says finally, his voice tight. You have a quiet holiday. We have a joyful one. Everyone got what they wanted. Don't be smart with me, Natalie. The old trigger, the dismissive tone that used to make me shrink. But standing here on my deck, looking at mountains I own, hosting a gathering I orchestrated, something fundamental has shifted. I'm not being smart, Dad. I'm being honest. You've spent my entire life making me feel like I wasn't quite family enough. You prioritized Trevor for so long that you don't even notice you're doing it anymore. And when I finally stopped waiting for you to choose me and chose myself instead, you're angry that it reflects poorly on you. That's not fair. Isn't it? When was the last time you asked about my work? When was the last time you visited this house or my penthouse or came to see any of the projects I've designed? When was the last time you treated Liam like he mattered as much as Trevor's kids? More silence. Then quieter. Trevor needed more support. He struggled where you excelled. We were trying to balance. No, Dad. You were trying to prop him up by pushing me down. And I'm done pretending that was fair or loving or what parents are supposed to do. I hear my mother's voice more clearly now. Richard, what's happening? I have to go. We'll discuss this later. There's nothing to discuss. Enjoy your Thanksgiving. I hang up before he can respond. When I turn around, Grandma Florence is standing in the doorway. She's wrapped in her cashmere throw, her eyes bright with unshed tears. How much did you hear? I ask. Enough. She walks over and takes my hand. I'm proud of you. I should have said these things to him years ago, but I kept thinking he'd figure it out on his own, that he'd wake up and realize what he was doing to you. It's not your fault, Grandma. Maybe not, but I'm still sorry. Sorry I didn't protect you better. Sorry I let you think you had to earn what should have been given freely. We stand there together looking out at the mountains, at the kids still playing in the snow, at this life I've built from the scraps of validation my father never provided. By 1 p.m., the dining table looks like something from a magazine spread. The turkey, both of them, sit at opposite ends, golden and perfect. Serving dishes overflow with sides. Truffle mashed potatoes, roasted root vegetables with honey and thyme, green bean casserole elevated with crispy shallots, butternut squash risotto, creamy and rich. The cranberry sauce glistens in a crystal bowl. Fresh baked rolls steam in linen-lined baskets. Chef Torton has outdone himself. We gather around the table, 22 people finding their personalized place cards, exclaiming over the care taken with each detail. Liam sits in between his cousins, beaming. Grandma Florence has the seat of honor to my right. Jasmine sits to my left, squeezing my hand under the table. Before we eat, Uncle Raymond says, standing with his wineglass raised, I want to say something. The table quiets. I've been going to Richard's Thanksgiving for 40 years, and every single one felt like a performance, like we all had to play our parts in his perfect family picture. He looks directly at me. This, what Natalie created here, this is what Thanksgiving is supposed to feel like. Not perfect, not formal, just real, just family who actually wants to be together. Hear, hear, several voices murmur. Aunt Patricia stands next. I also want to say, Natalie, you've shown us what grace looks like. You could have made this about revenge or proving a point. Instead, you made it about love, about showing up for the people who were pushed aside. That takes a bigger heart than most of us have. Thank you. You all chose to come.
That's what matters. We chose correctly, Grandma Florence says firmly. And I think we should make this a tradition. Every year, Thanksgiving at Natalie's, where everyone is welcome and everyone matters. The agreement is unanimous. We eat until we're stuffed, puff and pishes, telling stories, laughing at old memories, and creating new ones. The kids eventually abandon the table to play, and adults linger over wine and coffee, the conversation flowing easily.
Around 4 p.m., my phone explodes with notifications. Harper's TikTok has hit 500,000 views. More concerning, someone has found my father's church directory photo and posted it alongside images from our gathering, asking pointed questions about his absence. The comments range from supportive to brutal. This man really chose his golden child over his own mother and daughter? The audacity to exclude your family, then get mad when they have fun without you? That house is goals, and he wasn't even invited to see it? Imagine being this petty to your own kid. Someone has even created a thread comparing my professional accomplishments, my architecture firm, the Performing Arts Center design, the awards I've won, with Trevor's spotty employment history and failed business ventures. It's more thorough than anything I could have compiled, and it makes my father's favoritism look even more inexplicable. Jasmine notices me staring at my phone. It's everywhere, isn't it? People are tearing him apart. Is that what you wanted? I consider the question honestly. No, I wanted him to see me. I wanted him to realize what he was doing. But this, I gesture at my phone, this is just the internet being the internet. He made his choices public when he excluded half the family. People are just responding to what he put out there. Maybe she's right. Maybe this is simply the natural consequence of his actions becoming visible. He's always controlled the narrative, always managed appearances. Now the truth is out, and it doesn't look good because it isn't good. My phone rings again. This time it's Trevor. I almost don't answer, but curiosity wins. Hello? Natalie. Trevor's voice sounds strained, unfamiliar. Can we talk? We are talking. I mean really talk. About what's happening. About, he pauses, about everything. Through the phone, I hear dishes clattering, my mother's voice saying something sharp, the sounds of a tense household, not a joyful gathering. What do you want to say, Trevor? I didn't know Dad was excluding everyone. I thought it was just going to be a smaller thing, not, he exhales roughly, not cutting out Grandma, not you and Liam. That's messed up. You could have said something. I know, I should have, but I never... Another pause. I never wanted to rock the boat, you know? Dad always had such specific ideas about how things should be, and it was easier to just go along with it. Easier for you, I say quietly. Not easier for me. Yeah, I'm starting to see that. Sounds of movement, a door closing. His voice drops. Kelly's family left yesterday. Roads were bad, but honestly, I think they were uncomfortable. The whole thing feels wrong, Nat. We're sitting here with this formal dinner Mom planned, and it just feels empty. Meanwhile, everyone's posting about your place, and it looks like what Thanksgiving should be. I don't know what to say to that. Part of me wants to gloat, to point out that this is exactly what he deserves for enabling our father's favoritism for decades. But I'm too tired for that kind of pettiness. I hope you figure things out, Trevor. I really do. Are you... He hesitates. Are you ever going to forgive him? Forgive us? I don't know. Maybe. But forgiveness doesn't mean forgetting, and it definitely doesn't mean going back to how things were. After we hang up, I rejoin my family in the great room. Someone has started a fire. Kids are playing board games. Adults are scattered in comfortable clusters, talking, laughing, simply being together. This is what I built from my father's rejection. This warmth, this acceptance, this chosen family that values me not because of my success, but because of who I am entirely. My phone buzzes with one more notification. This time, it's a direct message on Instagram from someone I don't know. My parents did the same thing to me, always favored my sister. Seeing you thrive despite it gives me hope.
Thank you for sharing your story. Then another. Single mom here. You're showing your son what self-respect looks like. He's lucky to have you. And another. Sometimes the best revenge is building something beautiful with the people who truly see you. They keep coming, dozens of messages from strangers who see themselves in my story, who've experienced similar rejection, who needed to see that you can survive being your parent's second choice and still build a life worth living. I'm not crying, but my eyes are definitely wet. Liam climbs onto the couch beside me, leaning his small weight against my side. Mom, can we come back here for Christmas? You want to? Yeah, this is the best house ever, and everyone's here. Everyone who matters, I think. Everyone who chose us. Then we'll come back for Christmas, I promise. Outside, the sun begins to set behind the mountains, painting the snow in shades of pink and gold. Inside, my house glows with warmth and life and love, imperfect, real, and infinitely more valuable than any perfectly staged holiday my father ever orchestrated. He thought excluding me would diminish me. Instead, it freed me to create something he'll never have, a gathering where every person at the table knows they were chosen deliberately, valued completely, seen fully. Tomorrow, the internet will move on to the next viral story. My father will have to face his congregation and answer uncomfortable questions. Trevor will have to reconcile his complicity. But tonight, I have this. 22 people under my roof, full of good food and genuine connection, celebrating not just Thanksgiving, but the profound truth that family isn't about who excludes you, it's about who makes room.
The Friday morning breaks cold and clear, the storm's aftermath glittering under sharp November sunlight. I wake to find Liam already dressed, standing at the window watching Uncle James and the older kids build an elaborate snow fort in the front yard. "Can I go help?" he asks without turning around. Breakfast first, then yes. Downstairs, the kitchen has been restored to its original pristine state. Chef Thornton's team cleaned everything before departing last night, leaving only carefully packaged leftovers in the refrigerator and a handwritten note. It was an honor to be part of something real. MT. Grandma Florence sits at the kitchen island in her silk robe, cradling a cup of tea. Her silver hair is loose around her shoulders, making her look younger, somehow, less burdened. "Couldn't sleep?" I ask, pouring my own coffee. "Slept better than I have in years, actually. Just wanted to watch the sunrise over these mountains." She pats the stool beside her. "Sit with me a moment." I settle next to her, both of us gazing out at the view that still takes my breath away. "Your father called me last night," she says quietly, "around 11. My stomach tightens. "What did he say?" "That I betrayed him by coming here, that I should have supported his decision to keep Thanksgiving small." She sips her tea, her expression calm. "I told him that a mother's job is to love all her children equally, and a grandfather's job is to love all his grandchildren the same, and that he's failed at both." "Grandma." "Let me finish." Her voice remains gentle but firm. "I've watched him diminish you for 34 years. I've watched him build Trevor up on the foundation of tearing you down. And I told him that if he can't see what an extraordinary woman you've become, what an incredible mother you are, what a gift it is to be chosen by you, then he doesn't deserve the relationship you keep offering him." Tears blurred my vision. "What did he say?" "Nothing at first. Then he said he didn't understand, that he was doing his best, that parenting is complicated." She sets down her tea and takes my hand. "And I told him that every parent makes mistakes, but good parents apologize and change. Bad parents just keep making excuses." "Did he hang up on you?" "Eventually, but not before I heard him crying." Her thumb strokes across my knuckles. "I don't think anyone's ever spoken to him that directly.
Your mother certainly hasn't. She's enabled this behavior as much as he's perpetuated it. We sit in silence for a moment, processing. Then Grandma Florence squeezes my hand. You've done something remarkable here, Natalie. You've shown everyone, including yourself, that you don't need his approval to build a beautiful life. That's freedom. By mid-morning, several families begin preparing to leave. Highways are clear, work calls, regular life resuming. But the departures feel different than arrivals. Slower, more reluctant, punctuated by longer hugs and promises to stay in touch better. Uncle Raymond finds me in the mudroom where I'm helping his youngest daughter locate her missing glove. Before we go, he says, pulling an envelope from his jacket pocket, I wanted to give you this. Inside is a check for $5,000. Uncle Raymond, I can't. It's not for you, he interrupts. It's for next year. Down payment on Thanksgiving 2025 at the Ashford estate. I want to make sure we're all invited back. You don't have to pay to come to my home. I know, but you spent a fortune making this happen on short notice. The shaft, the transportation, all of it. Let family help carry the cost if we're making this a tradition. He glances back toward the great room where his wife is wrangling their teenagers. What you gave us this weekend was priceless. Let us contribute to keeping it going. After he leaves, 3 more families press similar envelopes into my hands, despite my protests. By noon, I have over $15,000 in checks I never asked for, never expected, don't need, but somehow understand the meaning behind. They're not paying for a meal. They're investing in belonging. Jasmine is among the last to depart, her car packed with Grandma Florence's luggage, and her own daughter still buzzing about her viral TikTok. Harper's video hit 2 million views, Jasmine reports, leaning against her car. Major news outlets are reaching out for interviews. Apparently, your story resonates. My story? The successful daughter excluded by her family, who responds with grace instead of bitterness? People eat that up. You're inspiring, Nat. I don't feel inspiring. I feel tired. That's because you're in it. But from the outside, you're showing people that you can be hurt and still choose love, that you can be rejected and still build community. That's powerful. She hugs me tight. Your dad is going to have to face this. Really face it. And that's not your fault. That's his consequence. After everyone leaves, the house feels enormous and silent. Liam and I are alone with Alan, who's come to check on the generator and ensure everything is secure before we return to Denver. Property held up beautifully, Alan reports. You're planning to use it more regularly now. I think so. It feels like home, in a way I didn't expect. Good. Houses need to be lived in, not just maintained. He tips his hat. Happy Thanksgiving, Ms. Ashford. What you did here, that was something special. That evening, Liam and I sit by the fireplace with mugs of hot chocolate, the mountain sunset painting the sky in impossible shades of orange and purple.
Mom? Liam's voice is soft, uncertain. Is Grandpa mad at us? I consider lying, softening it, but he deserves truth appropriate to his age. Grandpa made some choices that hurt people's feelings. When those people decided to spend Thanksgiving together without him, it made him look at his choices differently. Sometimes when people have to face what they've done, they get angry instead of sorry. Did we do something wrong? No, baby. We opened our home and our hearts to family who needed it. That's never wrong. He thinks about this, staring into the fire. I miss Grandpa, but I also had the best Thanksgiving ever. Can both be true? Both can absolutely be true. Missing someone and being hurt by them can exist at the same time. Okay. He leans against me, and we watch the fire in comfortable silence. My phone buzzes with a text. Trevor, can we meet? Just you and me. I need to talk to you about something. I stare at the message for a long moment before responding. When? Tomorrow. Coffee in Denver? I can drive up. Fine. Stella's Coffee on Blake Street, 2 p.m. The next afternoon, I arrive at Stella's 15 minutes early, claiming a corner table with a view of the door. Trevor arrives exactly on time, looking rumpled and tired in a way I've never seen him. My golden child brother, who always seemed so effortlessly confident. He orders a black coffee and sits across from me, his hands wrapped around the cup like it might anchor him. "Thanks for meeting me," he starts. "I said you needed to talk. I've been doing a lot of thinking since Thursday." He stares into his coffee, about how Dad treats you versus how he treats me, about all the times I benefited from his favoritism and just accepted it as normal. And I'm realizing it wasn't normal. It wasn't fair, and He looks up and his eyes are red-rimmed. "I'm sorry, Nat. I'm sorry I never stood up for you. I'm sorry I let Dad build me up by tearing you down. I'm sorry I didn't see it until everyone else was pointing it out online." The apology catches me off guard. I'd expected defensiveness, excuses, not this raw accountability. Why now? Because it went viral? Because people are talking? Partially, he admits, but also because Kelly told me she didn't want our kids growing up thinking that kind of favoritism was acceptable. She said if I couldn't see what Dad did to you, she was worried I'd do the same thing to our kids if one of them was more successful than the other. Smart woman. She is. Smarter than I deserve. He runs his hand through his hair. Dad's a mess, by the way. His pastor called, wanting to discuss the family situation after multiple congregation members expressed concern. Mom's not speaking to him, and I think he's finally realizing what he did. Realizing or just dealing with consequences? Maybe both, I don't know, but he keeps saying he wants to talk to you, to explain. There's nothing to explain, Trevor. I lived it. I know exactly what happened and why. Will you at least consider hearing him out? I lean back, studying my brother. Did he send you here to ask me that? No. I came because I wanted to apologize for my part in this. But if you're asking if he wants to talk to you, yeah, he does. He's just too proud to reach out directly. Then I guess he'll stay wanting. We sit in silence for a moment. Then Trevor speaks again, his voice quieter. "I saw what you built up there. The gathering, the way everyone looked at you, the way Liam was so happy." He swallows hard. "Our Thanksgiving was miserable. Just the 5 of us in that big house. Everything formal and tense. Mom crying in the kitchen. Dad angry at his phone because people kept commenting on the posts. Kelly's parents left early. And I kept thinking, this is what Nat has dealt with her whole life. This emptiness. Not emptiness, exclusion. There's a difference." "Right, yeah," he nods. "I want to do better. I want my kids to know their cousin Liam. If you'll let me, I want to be part of what you're building instead of what Dad has." The request hangs between us, vulnerable and genuine. "That's not a small thing you're asking," I say finally. "I know. You've stood by while Dad diminished me for 30 decades. You've benefited from that dynamic. Changing it means losing some of that favor. I understand. Do you? Because this isn't about a few coffee dates and pretending we're close. This is about fundamentally rethinking your relationship with Dad and Mom. This is about standing up when they disparage me, which they will. This is about actually seeing me. I want to try." His voice cracks slightly. "I want my kids to have what Liam has. A mom who shows them what self-respect looks like. And I can't teach them that if I don't learn it myself." I study him, this brother I've resented and envied and grieved for. He looks smaller somehow, humbled by reality. "Okay," I say finally, "we can try. But Trevor, this is probationary.
You don't get to decide you're different and then fall back into old patterns when it's convenient. I understand.
And I need you to tell me something honestly. Anything. Did you ever notice? Did you ever see what was happening and just choose not to care? He's quiet for a long time. When he speaks, his voice is barely above a whisper. Yeah, I saw it. And I told myself you were fine because you were smart and successful, that you didn't need Dad's approval because you had everything else. He meets my eyes. I was wrong. Everyone needs their parents to see them. And I'm sorry I pretended you didn't. It's not enough to erase 34 years of harm, but it's a start. We talk for another hour, tentatively mapping what a healthier sibling relationship might look like. When we part on the sidewalk outside Stella's, the hug we exchange feels foreign, but not unwelcome. That night, Liam asks if Uncle Trevor is mad at us too. No, buddy. Uncle Trevor is trying to understand some things he didn't see before. Will Grandpa try to understand? I don't know. Maybe someday. 3 days later, my father calls. I let it go to voicemail twice before finally answering on the third attempt. Natalie. His voice sounds older, strained. We need to talk. I'm listening. Not on the phone. In person. Could you come to the house? No. Silence. He's not used to me refusing him. Then, can I come to you? My penthouse, tomorrow at 6 p.m. Come alone. When he arrives the next evening, he looks diminished somehow. Shoulders slightly stooped, eyes tired, the confident patriarch facade cracked. I don't invite him to sit. We stand in my living room with the city lights glittering behind us. You've done well for yourself, he says, glancing around. I know. I didn't realize. I knew you were successful, but I didn't understand the extent. You didn't understand because you never asked. You never visited. You never showed interest. He flinches. That's fair. Is it? Because it sounds like you're about to tell me you're proud of me, Mao, that strangers on the internet have quantified my success for you. That's not... He stops, recalibrates. You're right. I should have seen it before. I should have asked. Why didn't you? Because... His voice breaks. Because you never needed me. From the time you were little, you were so capable, so independent. You figured everything out on your own. Trevor struggled, and I knew how to help with that. But you? He shakes his head. You were always 3 steps ahead of everyone. I didn't know what to do with that. So you did nothing. So I did nothing, he agrees quietly. And I told myself you were fine because you had everything under control. I was a child, Dad. Every child needs their parents to show up, to see them, to choose them. I know that now. Do you? Or do you know that excluding me publicly made you look bad, so now you have to do damage control? His jaw tightens. They can be both. They can be, but only one is an actual apology. We stand there, 2 people who share DNA but little else, separated by 34 years of accumulated hurt. He says finally, I'm sorry. For all of it. For every time I chose Trevor over you. For every achievement I dismissed. For making you feel like you had to earn love that should have been freely given. For excluding you from Thanksgiving. For... His voice catches. For being a coward who couldn't admit his favorite until the world pointed it out. The apology is more than I expected, less than I need. What do you want from me, Dad? A chance. To do better. To be better. And if I say no, then I'll have to live with that. But I'm asking anyway. I move to the window,
looking out at the city I conquered while he was busy noticing Trevor. Behind me, I hear my father's uneven breathing, his fear of my answer. "Here's what I need you to understand," I say without turning around. "What you broke doesn't get fixed with one conversation. You don't get to apologize and have everything go back to normal because normal was the problem." I know. If you want a relationship with me and with Liam, it happens on my terms. You don't get to show up when it's convenient and disappear when it's not. You don't get to compare me to Trevor or my son to his kids. You don't get to center yourself in my story anymore. Okay. And you have to accept that Grandma Florence, Jasmine, Uncle Raymond, all of them are part of my family now in ways that are separate from you. I'm hosting Christmas at the Aspen House. They're all invited. If you want to come, you come as a guest in my home, not as the patriarch deciding who belongs. I understand. Do you? I turn to face him. Because this means you lose control of the narrative. You lose the power to decide who's in and who's out. I decide. And I'm choosing everyone you threw away. He nods, and I see tears on his cheeks. The first time I've seen my father cry since his own father died. I want to try. Please let me try. I don't rush to comfort him. I don't absolve him. But I do say, okay, we'll try. But Dad, if you hurt Liam the way you hurt me, we're done. He doesn't have to earn your love. He gets it freely or not at all.
He'll have it, I promise. Promises are just words. Show me. After he leaves, I stand at my window for a long time, processing. The hurt doesn't disappear. The scars remain. But something has shifted. The power dynamic, the narrative control, the desperate need for his approval that colored my whole life. I don't need him to see me anymore. I already see myself. A week later, my phone buzzes with a text from my father. I'd like to take Liam to the Science Museum on Saturday. Just the two of us, if that's okay with you. I showed the message to Liam. What do you think? Will he actually come or will he cancel? The question breaks my heart because my 7-year-old already knows the pattern. I don't know, buddy, but if he cancels, we'll do something fun together instead. Deal? Deal. Saturday comes, my father arrives exactly on time, and he doesn't cancel. When they return 4 hours later, Liam bounces with excitement about the exhibits, chattering about dinosaurs and space and everything Grandpa taught him. It's one afternoon, one kept promise. Not redemption, but perhaps the first step toward it. That night, I post a photo to Instagram, the view from my Aspen house at sunset. The mountains painted in gold and purple. The caption is simple. Grateful for everyone who chose to see me when others looked away. Grateful for the family we build when biology falls short. Grateful for second chances extended on my terms. This is what healing looks like. Messy, slow, and entirely mine to direct. The comments flood in. Thousands of messages from strangers who found hope in my story, who saw themselves in my journey, who needed to know that being your parent's second choice doesn't define your worth. But the comment I save is from Liam, posted from his supervised account. Best mom ever. Best house ever. Best Thanksgiving ever. Love you infinity. And suddenly, nothing else matters. I built this. Not from my father's approval, but from his absence. Not from being chosen, but from choosing myself. Not from fitting into someone else's family, but from creating my own. They thought exclusion would diminish me. Instead, it freed me to become someone who didn't need their table, because I built a better one. And everyone is welcome here. Got 2 more amazing stories lined up for you. If you dug this one, you're gonna love what's next. Go ahead and click.